at 11:28:50. What does this screen tell us? Higher, lower, or sideways? Got a lower high, lower low. Volume is a little bit higher than the preceding day, but basically pointed lower. Will our F2 screen be in agreement? Okay, Steve brought up a good point over the week. What news could happen over the weekend that would change things and turn this market around? And probably the most realistic news that you could get out of the world based on a weekend schedule, etc., would be that the 16 banks that failed the stress tests in Europe have been recapitalized. Uh, the central bank, European Central Bank, has laid aside enough money to cover, the Greek, Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, and Irish debt. Problem is they don't have enough to cover all five of them. They can cover Ireland's, Portugal's, and Greece's, but they can't do more than that. And the problem for Europe is that the large major European banks hold the bulk of that debt or that bulk of that paper. And the problem is severe, and nobody wants to jump up and write the checks yet. So they'll try to throw a little bit of money at it at a time, like they've been doing, and we'll see what we get. We're really talking very, very large amounts of money right here, and you're really talking economic philosophy that has created liabilities that can't be met, not only in Europe but in the United States. And the solution is pretty simple. You're going to raise retirement ages. You're going to cut pensions. You're going to decrease social spending. You're going to go back to, we'll provide a net, but not a lifestyle, a subsidized lifestyle for you. And the people that have grown accustomed to living that way aren't going to like that. They're going to balk. And we've already seen riots in Europe. And we've seen riots not in the United States or violent marches or outbursts by our heavily subsidized government workers union members and teachers unions. So it can certainly happen in the United States, and then we see lawlessness breaking out in the bluest of blue cities because of racial divisiveness has been promoted. The politics of envy have been promoted, and you go out there and you poke a stick at in the middle of a bunch of angry young adolescent males, and why wouldn't you expect them to riot and break things? So there's going to be a lot of chaos as the deck is reshuffled here. Yeah, the worst case is that the pigs default at different levels. Most of the Spanish debt is tied to real estate. In Italy, it's a little bit of everything. In Greece, it was tied to prolific benefits and salaries to government and workers. So, I mean, it's a little bit different in each country, but basically, these countries all got to borrow at German rates and spend like they'd always spent during their country's history. Okay, right here, we were looking for a consolidation day today. We're definitely dealing with a B. We had guessed that we might have a close today at 25. We'll see if that happens. And the top of the B wasn't quite tested in the day session, and neither was the bottom of the B. So 1125 is still my best guess on how we're going to check out, but you can see that the first resistance area is in this 35 area. Second resistance area is up here in this 38 to 40. And then the third area is basically up here 48 to 50, where the selling started. Support, the value area low, this JKL, so this 2022 area will be your first little band of support. Then 13 to 15. And then our third area of support would be down here, 1102 to perhaps as high as 07. And the aggressive sell, 29.50 or better. The preferred sell would be in that 35 to 40 area to retest the 20 to 25 area. So looking at our F4 screen, we just basically came to rest in this high volume area, which 24 minus to 27 plus. And that's where I'm going to guess that we're going to close. If you wanted to bring back job growth to the United States, lower the corporate tax rate. Allow them to bring the money back after they've paid taxes on it in their overseas locations, make taxes territorial. Then bring the profits back to the United States, get rid of the EPA, get rid of OSHA, start cutting through all this regulation in the Department of Energy, open up the books for energy production, be it coal, natural gas, crude oil, uranium mining, and that would do a great deal to put this country back to work. Imagine what would happen in this country if we became energy independent. And you probably can't do it through crude oil production, but if you went after natural gas in a massive way, there's an alcohol called butanol that packs almost as much energy as jet fuel does. Does not corrode, mess up the pipelines, doesn't, it's got the same density, doesn't mess up the pumps and the rest of it. You can actually become energy inefficient, energy independent to the production of that fuel with crude oil. And it would blend with gasoline. So there are ways that we could do that, but that would take this several $1 trillion that's on the sidelines. It would be a breath of fresh air. You lowered corporate taxes. And corporations don't pay taxes. People pay taxes. You made it profitable for them to manufacture in the United States with through tort reform and the rest of it, and then this country's growth would return. But the chances of that happening with the current administration are close to zero. So what we have to do as traders is that we have to look for these trades that have our names on them. And we have to think about what could change the market, what surprise announcement could come out that would totally change things and leave me with my head in my hands. And that's the situation we don't want. Okay, on the F1 screen on the note, higher high, higher low. Volume is below yesterday's. So this one is mixed information, but higher low, higher high. We could buy weakness, especially if they can't crack that 130.24, 130.28 area, and see what that brings. I would fold A back, and I look at a C split right now. And we still can have a fairly strong market depending on what goes on in the E-mini. The F2 screen isn't nearly as strong as the F1 screen. So we've got a conflict in time frames. We do not have congruency. And on the F2 screen, we could actually sell into strength to see if we could extend the selling that's going on right now. So if we came in and did a split here in K period, and we look at the B that comes before it, this one looks pretty decidedly down on this filter or this screen in this time frame. So we're definitely dealing with a B here. So the first trade that this one would suggest would be selling early strength to see if we can extend today's lows or the overnight session's low. So where might I had the close at 31, basically the buck. So where is resistance? We had a J period high here at 3 to 4. We have an ID high here at 7.8. We have a C period high at 12. And we have our 16 to 20. For 4. Okay, on the downside, we were looking at the overnight session low at 26.5, 28. We're there right now. So we can maybe back it away one, maybe it's 24 to 28. This end period low at 18.5, so we had an M period low all the way down here at 14.5, and and we have an L period low way down below. So we'll pick up this ledge right here. Okay, now the fastest way for this market to move is lower because we've had so much activity to the upside. And like we've always said, it takes some help out of the EU or out of the E-mini to really break this market out and hold it above 131. And you can see the trouble we're having holding 131. So our aggressive sell we're down at 24 right now is 31 to 03, playing for them closing the gap. 2024 area down here.